Amber Heard brings new allegations against Jason Momoa. For those of you who've forgotten about Amber Heard, you're not alone. If it weren't for her public battle with her ex-husband Johnny Depp, no one would probably even care about this woman, but thanks to the trial and the Netflix documentary that really didn't need all those jump cuts and edits of influencers' comments to get attention, recently she's returned to the front page thanks to her role in the upcoming Aquaman sequel in December. Since the whole Johnny situation, there had been rumors about her role in the film spreading online. Many people believed that her character would be written out of the movie or at least have some of her scenes cut. Well, according to Amber herself, there's actually a ton of stuff that went on behind the scenes of the latest Aquaman adventure regarding Elon Musk and Jason Momoa, two names that I honestly never thought I would put into the same sentence, but here we are. A notepad found from the trial last year had some pretty interesting information scribbled on its pages. Amber Heard's therapist, Dr. Don Hughes, had given the pad as evidence in the trial. The notes describe a toxic work environment on set of Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa being the main antagonist. She alleged that not only was Jason intoxicated for a majority of filming, but that he was pushing for the studio to fire her entirely. But we all know Amber. When something happens to her, there needs to be details and an Oscar-worthy retelling. She claimed that Jason dressed like Johnny Depp to hurt her feelings, even wearing all of his rings just to egg her on. As it goes, anything Amber Heard says should be taken with a grain of salt, because literally hours after these comments and claims were made public, executives at DC spoke back against them. They claimed that Jason was actually extremely professional on set, being coherent the entire time. Several crew and fellow cast also backed up the studio heads, adding that Jason was never actually intoxicated on set. Not to say he didn't enjoy no juice, he just, waited until after work, and it wasn't a constant thing. One of the production assistants even commented that Jason and Amber were seen joking together on set and honestly had a great time. There is no Blu-ray version of this movie out yet, but we can imagine there's going to be some pretty interesting behind the scenes footage of them together. Amber Heard declined to comment on the notes or even acknowledge that they existed, but another source close to Amber confirmed that these notes did refer to the Aquaman set from 2021. Jason was not the only Aquaman member called out in the paperwork though. There were several notes scribbled about Amber feeling unsupported by the director of the film, James Wan, claiming that he treated her like a pariah because of her legal battle with Johnny Depp. She claimed that James would raise his voice at her and demand that she keep secrets to herself regarding the film, going so far as to banning her from taking selfies with the cast and crew. Now, James has so far been unavailable to comment because he's got other things to worry about, like being a good director. However, the same DC spokesperson who defended Jason also came to the defense of James Wan. James has always been known for creating a collaborative and positive work environment on everything from the Saw franchise to Fast and Furious 7. This dude has an interesting career. One thing that was revealed was that Amber Heard was in fact nearly fired from the set of Aquaman 2, but it actually had nothing to do with her trial. The DC rep explained that there was a time following the release of Aquaman 1 in which James was ready to let Amber go. The main reason was that he felt that there was a lack of chemistry between herself and Jason, which is fair enough. Anyone who has seen this movie can understand that statement and more than likely agrees with it. Amber Heard has always just kind of felt jammed into the DC universe, but I could talk about that forever. Let's just stick to the hot goss. So ultimately, the studio never went forward with firing Amber, and it was all thanks to the CEO of Tesla and her former lover, Elon Musk. Now, there's not a ton of information on this aspect of the situation, so I'm just going to share with you what I was able to find out. Back in 2019, Elon had one of his litigators send a scorched earth letter to Warner Brothers, threatening to tear the house down if the actress was left out of the sequel. Warner Brothers caved and moved forward. Imagine being so geeky and so rich that you could literally bully an entire studio into doing your bidding. Where was he when Iron Man was sacrificing himself for the entire universe? Right now, DC as a studio is in a weird place, with Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn and Peter Safran taking over and planning to scrap the existing film universe altogether. Aquaman 2 is actually the last movie that's going to be released under the old regime of DC. To say that this year has been rough for the company would be an understatement. Between The Flash and Blue Beetle, the company has lost millions of dollars. There's still a ton of hope for the Aquaman sequel because first movie made around $1.15 billion worldwide.
Great success.
Anticipation may be high, but so far the sequel has undergone major reshoots and edits because apparently test audiences just hate it so much. Out of 100, the film was testing around the low 60s before it was recut last year. The biggest issue that the studio is having with the project is that there's the last piece of evidence that there used to be an established movie universe, a universe that nobody wants to take ownership of. Reshoots continued right up until the strike started this past May. Aquaman 2 is not just the last Snyderverse DC movie, but it's also the last time we may ever see Jason Momoa as Aquaman. With the change in management, James Gunn has made it known that there is going to be a new DC universe with new actors, characters, and stories. James is no stranger to making bad things good. He took an obscure and forgotten Marvel comic and turned them into 3 box office beasts with Guardians of the Galaxy, and not to mention making the world forget that there ever was a DC movie with Will Smith in it. Nope, just Idris Elba being afraid of rats. That's all I want. Not long ago, he actually publicly announced who would and who would not be returning to this new DCEU. The entire cast of the Suicide Squad will return, including John Cena as Peacemaker and Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Another confirmed addition to the surprise of everybody is Xolo Maridueña as Blue Beetle, which was the biggest box office blunder in the last 10 years. This means that Amber has effectively been fired from her role in the DCEU. Her character is just gonna be left into the final product of this one because no one really cares. Seeing as she filmed her scenes over 2 years ago, it's not like she has much of a say in what's gonna happen to her character. For all we know, the opening credits is Amber swimming in deep water and then she's suddenly swallowed whole by a whale or something like that. Heck, they might even do it off screen and edit her out completely. We honestly won't know until we see Aquaman 2 in December. Since the news of Amber has broken, there have been a few key details revealed. First and foremost, there have been at least 2 confirmed scenes cut involving Amber. One was an action sequence seeing her character facing off against Black Manta, the main villain of the movie, and the other was a love scene with Jason, which I think we can all agree we're not gonna miss that one. Getting back to Jason and Amber for a moment though, you're probably wondering what other allegations there are against Jason Momoa. There really aren't many. Amber is claiming that Jason was intentionally wearing Johnny Depp's clothes on set to mess with her, wearing his jewelry and wearing his hair the same. Okay, I'm sorry Amber, but that's kinda what Jason always looks like. Seriously, 9 times out of 10 when this guy is spotted in public, yes, he wears a ton of rings. Yes, he occasionally has his hair pulled back similar to the style of Johnny Depp. And yes, they both wear sunglasses a lot. But that's not new, okay? Since Game of Thrones, this guy has dressed like a Los Angeles yoga master. I have literally never seen someone more comfortable in public. His style is him. He has chains and rings and necklaces and a beard and long hair. So because he exists like this, he must be making Amber feel bad on purpose. It's not his fault that he looks like Johnny Depp. Heck, a lot of dudes in Hollywood look like Johnny Depp. It doesn't mean they want to make Amber Heard uncomfortable. When the news first broke about the Johnny and Amber trial, there was actually an online petition that was circulating calling for Amber's character to be recasted entirely from Aquaman 2. The petition received thousands of signatures, but as we all know, that didn't do anything. While her trial was being aired on the internet every single day, the studio was just trying to figure out the best way to handle the situation. The allegations being brought against Jason Momoa are a little iffy to say the least, and extremely convenient considering that the movie is set to release in 2 months. For all we know, this was a deliberate move made by Amber Heard to sabotage the release of this movie. I mean, come on, what a better way to derail a project than by claiming that the leading man was mean and tipsy on set. Even if it weren't for the almost hundreds of crew members that witnessed this thing get made from start to finish who were calling BS on Amber's accusations, I don't think anyone would still buy this. Yes, Flip from Slumberland was being mean to you. This guy. Come to think of it, put a pair of shades on that guy and it's Johnny Depp. Dang it, I was wrong. This guy's a menace. Now, obviously, I don't know what happened on the set of Aquaman. This is an entertainment-based video, and it needs to be taken with a massive grain of salt, but based on the pre-existing evidence, the multiple eyewitness accounts, just so much information, I think that we all know where this story is heading. Hopefully, I'll be able to tell you where that is next time. Thank you for stopping beyond the screen. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much. It means a lot to us here at the channel. Please drop a like on the video to show your support, and let us know if you've ever met Jason Momoa. Honestly, I'm kind of curious to know what that's like. Did he look like Johnny Depp? Again, probably. I think they have the same tailor or something, but that's for another list. Follow the channel for more celebrity content every day, and we'll see you next time.